event because we had a special guest who's from Yorktown, and they had their town board meetings on Tuesday. So we moved all of creation around because he's that important.
So we're missing Peekskill's
and he said he would hit me if I didn't have him on my show before the election. David Paganelli, welcome to the Volpe.
My friend, thank you.
I'm like the studio audience.
We also have our usual compadres. Dominic is out having Mai Tais this week in Florida.
You know, I've never done a show with Dominic Volpe.
Has he ever shown up for
I've never seen him.
Switch your name in for
I have no idea.
So we have Darren Rigger, political consultant, and the owner, publisher, and guy that cleans the bathroom at the Peekskill Post.
True.
Brian Fumagalli. Now, we normally take this time lately to say hello to our number one fan, Mary Ann McCarran. But we have to change it this month, Darren. Brian told me Christine, the woman who's the mother of his child,
What?
that doesn't laugh when he's naked, said she's a little upset that we're always calling out Mary Ann's name, but never say hello to her because she's a big fan.
Wait, your wife watches the show?
That's how Reagan was conceived.
Yep.
During the show.
It makes
Only when Andy's
it makes
speaking.
them
So
hot.
shall we say hi?
It makes them
Shall
hot.
we
can say hi.
Hi, Christine.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Christine.
Our
Hi,
true number one
out there in
fan.
TV land.
Yeah, right.
Brian
Cable
told
land.
me off the air. Brian told me off the air, and I'm not supposed to. That he's got a good chance of getting lucky if we mention her name on the show. Now,
Yes,
Does that
definitely-
show
I
get
definitely said
censored?
that.
Does
Yeah.
the show
No,
get censored?
No, we can curse.
you can
curse,
say
you can-
shit.
Yeah.
Now,
You know, my wife, Andy, I
now-
told you this, my wife was watching, we're sitting there, we're on
And
the
so that's
sofa.
you and turned it off, right?
Yeah, she's sitting there and she's clicking along, the channels, click, 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 and then we appear. The show is on television, and she goes, "Hey, look, you're on TV," and I went, "Wow!" And she goes, "Click, click, click," just moved right along.
You know, I've been on shows going on 8 years now, 10 years. I've never watched one of my own shows in its entirety.
Really?
Wow.
That's surprising.
Now, Darren.
Nope.
Why, no interest?
You know what? Don't like the way I look. Sometimes don't like the way I sound.
That's all of us.
So I just
Speak for
I don't know.
yourself.
You know what? I look short and fat. It's unbelievable.
Imagine that, and you're
Travesty.
6'3",
Travesty.
165 pounds.
Yes.
My mirror at
Figure.
home, I'm so tall and thin.
Now, first, Darren, would you please say hello to Mary Ann McCarran?
Hey, Mary Ann.
Take care, Christine.
Thank you for watching.
Yes. Now, speaking of mothers, besides his mother who skips by the show, apparently another person's mother is a fan of our show, is the Peekskill Mayor Catalina. Apparently his mother watches the show.
Oh, she must love me.
Well, I think she wants to monitor what Darren is saying.
Nah, she likes the show, and
She's a very nice woman. I've met her.
And
Have you met her?
yeah, she's very nice.
Yes.
Frank's mom is very nice.
So say hello to man. So say hello to Frank's mother.
Apparently the Apple phone rolled very far.
She's not going to like that. See, she's not going to.
Oh, come on. It was joking.
Say hello to Frank's mother.
Hi, Mrs. Catalina. She's actually very, very sweet. I've met her a lot of times. She's really nice.
I know, you told me this off the air too. Yeah. So he actually says this off the air about you. Now, you may notice this centerpiece we have in the studio. I don't know why it's here.
Want me to tell you
I
what?
should have filled it with sand or
Now,
Shall I tell you why?
I think Dave is trying to direct the conversation away from what I want to talk about and make this his superintendent show that can be found on another day and another time on another cable network.
It's the
another
same
host.
cable network.
Tell us why. Tell us about it.
I brought the truck because I knew who would be here. All right, and I've been with you guys before, and I know it's virtually, when you do a show alone with Andy, it's virtually impossible to get a word in edgewise. So I figured between the three of you,
So, Andy, what do you think
I
about
wouldn't get to
what's
say
going on
anything. So my thought was, when you're all rambling on, I would just point at the truck so people would know who I was.
Do you drop your load in that truck?
Yes, we'd use that truck to drop stuff all over town.
And so this is when you work on those little lots.
The very small
Those
ones,
is for
yeah.
the little lots.
That's when we
right?
go on people's driveways.
This brings up a very important point because this is the biggest problem with a lot of municipalities. This is an actual truck in Yorktown, and this is why.
Well, I asked the
jobs
town
take too
board for a
long.
new truck, and that's what they got me. What do you want me to tell you?
This is it. It's going to take forever to fix 202.
202 is a state road. You know,
Now-
anything with a number is a state road.
Now,
Darren. You
this
should
is
know
really-
that.
I
You
want to
should know
jump
that.
to a topic, Dave, and this is gonna, because I know you're probably very familiar with this.
6-9.
Yep.
202,
But
that's right.
Brian just
What are county
posted.
roads then?
Brian just posted on the
What
Peekskill.
are county roads then?
There are very few county roads left. Yorktown, a
Maybe
number
you
of
guys
years
take 'em
ago,
over, right?
we took them over. Yeah.
We made deals for land, for.
Right.
So in
land
Peekskill, we still
roads.
have county roads, like Washington is county.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
So
No, we
anyway,
have no county roads left in Yorktown
Brian,
except for the bike path.
What I noticed on my laptop before I got here is Brian posted on the Peekskill Post that Mayor Catalina, I guess, and the city manager have made a deal with Con Ed. They've been tearing up the road something awful in Peekskill.
They have.
And now tell them about
Everywhere, not just Peekskill.
Right, that's why I said I'm going to get you.
Well, this gas line problem's been going on for a while.
When you put the backstory, and then we can get you in on this since your expertise as a superintendent.
Well, the gas line that they've been working on, the project's been going on for a while. People have noticed it. They haven't been happy. The roads, torn up. You got potholes. You got other
Destroying
things.
people's front
Plates on the
The
road.
plates.
It's
Yep, the
been
plates.
destroying the front end of
A
people's
lot of traffic.
cars.
Right. People are going out of control because when they hit hard and they can't handle the wheel spins.
And who wants to be around people that are passing gas?
That's very true, Andy. So, the city of Peekskill's been in discussions with them, complaining.
Don't let- it just encourages
And,
him.
It is an election year, so it's especially important that they get this fixed, obviously. And Catalina, the mayor of Peekskill, sent a letter to Con Ed on July 1st saying, you fix this now. And so they've gotten into some sort of agreement. It's not 100% yet, but it looks like it's going to go through for several $100,000.
383 you wrote.
Thank you.
Told you I
To
read
give
it.
to the city of Peekskill, and they will pave the roads. Then there's 3 other roads that they're working on. They don't know if they might be contracted out, but basically, the city of Peekskill has told residents that expect in the next week or so, we'll have a concrete, no pun intended, deal, and then going forward, we will get to these roads as soon as
Okay,
possible.
now Dave, as a superintendent, now how does this work when their work falls onto your highway department?
Well, I'll give you an example.
Right, that's why you're here.
Right now, Gomer Street in Yorktown, Peekskill, Con Edison subcontracts out all their gas main replacement work. So
Is there
Gomer
a-
Street is 4,900 lineal feet.
Is there a pile on Gomer Street?
No Gomer pile, nor is Goober there.
Okay.
You're gonna have to be a little quicker than that if you want to, to get the drop on me. Better part of a mile. When it's completed, the next segment. As a matter of fact, I have a meeting this week with their head engineer because as I'm deciding what roads to pave, I want to know I want a 5-year plan of what their infrastructure work is going to be.
Are they good at giving you such things?
I have a fabulous relationship with Con Ed.
Okay.
Fantastic. I call them. A resident calls me up, says their blinking lights aren't working on their stanchions by the plates. I call them up. Call the fellow on the 4th of July. He was out there that night, taking care of it. I have a great relationship. The way it works in Yorktown is highway superintendent controls the street opening permits. So the quid pro quo I make with them is that they can pay us to do it if they want, or they can do it themselves to my specifications. But any road that they cut, and they're going to be doing a lot of infrastructure over the next 5 years in all of our communities. And any roads they cut, curb to curb, end to end paved. No more patching and.
I think I've heard you say that before. I heard
Yeah.
that
Now,
somewhere.
what I want
So
to
we're
get
at this one project, which is about a 6-month project, very inconvenient for my residents. But at the end of the day, they'll be doing $145,000 worth of paving just in that one segment.
But
Now,
they,
would
they
you-
subcontract
No,
out.
but
They
what
give
I
the
want-
money to Yorktown. Yorktown does
They
it.
I wanna get-
they would like very much for us to do it.
And would you like to do it? Would you prefer that?
I
to
would prefer to
control
do it myself.
That's the question.
Yeah.
Now, it could cost the town more because of overtime. Is that correct?
No, because we subcontract out our general paving, and we were very fortunate when I bid out the paving bid, tied it to the correct index. So we're paying about $15 a ton less than anybody else in the county right now, laid in place. Right now, I could pave cheaper than I could buy the blacktop for.
Now,
for this
why were
company.
you able to do that and other departments haven't done that?
You know what? It was really luck of the draw. I'd like to say that I was so brilliant that I thought this up on my own. I took about 10 or 12 different bids from other communities, morphed them into an incredibly complicated bid, which included, traffic control without traffic control, TACCO without TACCO, milling without milling, water, no water, every possible scenario so we could figure what we could do, how we could save money. And at the end of the day, I bid it. A friend of mine called me up who is a big paver in the county and said, pull your bid. I said, why? And he said, because tie it to this other index and said it'll work out better for you, and it did.
Okay.
So you know what I bring to the table, what I brought to the table from the beginning, I didn't know everything, but I knew I didn't know everything.
Right.
And I was willing to learn because I don't have an ego.
And you have it set for years in advance, like that bid?
We have a bid that has three. It was a 1-year bid with three automatic renewals if we wanted to renew.
Isn't it tied to the price of oil?
It is tied to the oil index, yeah, the crude index.
No,
But what index? What month? When?
but what
What
I'm
month? What?
Well, what is it? What's the deal?
Well, the deal was at the time.
Whatever
2
it
years
is then.
ago, it wasn't. It
No.
was an index from a few months before
Okay.
where it was high. Price came down. The bid came down.
There you go.
Wow, nice.
So what I'm
Yeah,
asking you is this, what I'm trying to get to is this, that Catalina said he would be preferred that his being done in-house and Con Ed reimbursing, because they know the roads, they know.
And they deserve
Well, I'm
overtime.
sure
you said.
Peekskill has
No, I'm saying,
a
but-
contractor that comes in. These sidewalks that Peekskill did up here, coming down 202, they were done by Montesano.
Right, but-
they
but
weren't done,
Catalina
they
is-
weren't done by your DPW.
Right, but Catalina is saying that, and that's what Andy was getting at. We are glad that we have this in-house, so our workers will get well-deserved overtime.
Now, would you feel the same way on your end?
That's
doing
why I
it
asked you if it
in-house?
was going to cost your town more if you did it because of overtime. That's why I was getting at that.
It would. First of all, we don't have a paver, so that's an issue.
Okay.
We did the YCC building and saved about $40,000 of taxpayer money, but I borrowed a paver. See, this whole IMA thing that the governor's really pushing down on, it's a great thing. There was a big meeting at the county center about it. And you know what? Honestly, highway superintendents have been doing this forever.
Right.
I need a sweeper.
Sometimes you work for the school district too, right?
I do a lot of work for the school district. Matter of fact, I just dropped off 10 loads of millings in their lower parking lot so that we can smooth it out for the kids to park there at the high school. When we had the big snowstorm on March 16th, the school couldn't move the snow. They didn't have the equipment to move it. And they called up and I said, yeah, I'll come over with my loaders and we'll move it because they couldn't have parking. Yeah, you know what? It's at the end of the day, it's all taxpayer money. So if the school can save money, the
Right.
taxpayer saves money. It's not, only the highway department has to do well. You know, and as elected highway superintendent, it could be easy to fall into that trap and say, well, I want to make sure just my department does well.
All right.
You know, you've got to
You divert resources to help them.
Right.
So
At the
if-
end of the day, if you're saving taxpayer money, it really doesn't matter who gets the credit for
See,
it.
what-
So instead of a
but-
Napolitano Day in Yorktown, it should have been Paganelli Day.
One would have thought.
Is Yorktown staying below the tax cap?
Yes.
Yes.
And the Yorktown School District is staying below the tax cap?
No.
I believe.
I don't
I
know,
believe
to
so.
be honest
I
with
I
you.
haven't covered their
I'm
budget.
kidding,
I
yes,
think
The
so.
town has stayed below the tax
I think the
cap.
school has too.
5 years in a row.
Yeah.
Well,
So
that's
if they
because
both, because if they both do, and you show shared services like you're talking about, then everyone gets tax
The
rebates.
problem, and the meeting at the county center made this very clear.
Did you go to the meeting or?
Yes. The
Okay.
problem with the shared services agreement, all right, that the governor wants to have everyone use, you would literally have to do 70 pages of paperwork for every day. We've been doing this on a handshake forever. You know, if somebody needs something, you go and help them. You need something, they come and help you.
See, what I'm trying to get is that, unlike the previous the highway superintendent, who was good with his hands, I mean, he started in the highway.
Yeah, he
And
was,
so-
and he was. Let me tell you something. Eric was a great innovator. He was the first person to bring
Brine.
brine to Westchester County. He really he was a great innovator. He really
but-
and he inherited a highway department that was a cluster hump. I mean, it was a highway department from the old days where people were drinking and. You know, unfortunately,
An old
that
boys
is no
club.
longer the case,
It was
and
an
he
old
and
boys
he
club.
he had a lot to deal with.
No,
You
but what
know?
I'm saying is that when Dave ran, we knew we couldn't run as the next Derek.
As in, yeah.
Because that would have been stupid.
That wasn't the skill set I
and
brought to the
and that
table.
wasn't his skill set. His skill set was management, running like a business, running.
I was there. I remember.
Right.
Yeah, you were there.
And-
you
and
were there
that-
from the beginning.
And we emphasized.
And it was a contentious race. Seven
we-
people.
But we emphasized
Yeah.
that he ran a big club that had multiple party. He knew how to manage people.
Reallocate and
Reallocate.
reallocate.
Well, he had experience with the
Reallocate
restaurant and everything.
Resources.
Right.
And that my father always said, you turn into the skid. His strength was management. Okay, now he's around driving trucks. I mean,
He's got toy trucks now.
I have toy trucks, you know.
actually, that's his slipper.
I
got another one
I
at
have
home.
become more of a hands-on. I have take your boss to work days where one of the crews has to take me with them, and I'll
Oh, they must
flag.
love that.
Yeah, they like that. Because I'll flag or I'll rake blacktop
Okay.
or I'll drag brush or whatever it takes.
What do you call those scooters you step on and they move themselves now?
Yeah, I don't
Well,
know.
Scooters.
No,
No.
they have a name. But he's
Segways? Is that what they are?
Segways, right. He's got another one of those, and when he's around the house, he puts his feet in each one, and they drive
They're like
them
big
all
elephant slippers.
That's right, but
know.
they're automatic, and they, he doesn't.
But getting back to Eric, I think got the job done, and you get the
Absolutely.
job done. You're two different people.
That-
You got two different skill sets.
that's why he's running on a position.
You're running for re-election
This year, yes.
this year, but
But
you're running
I-
unopposed.
Yes, fortunately, that's it.
But
But now, bear in mind,
That's
every
how to
time
run for
I've
office.
run, I've run a primary. So 3 times I've run, I've had to run 6 elections.
Wow.
The fact that I'm running unopposed is like a blessing from above.
It's a
It
4-year
really
term,
is.
2-year term.
4-year term.
Well,
That's
what
nice.
happened is that, like the town clerk, the highway superintendent's really not a political job. I mean, there's no Republican way to plow the road, no Democrat way to do the books. Well, there is with the Democrats, you have 2 sets. But anyway, but there's no Democrat way to do the books or to do the roads. So you're judged literally on the job you do, not the job you're going to do. Every election for a job like his or the town clerk is on.
My mom's a town clerk, so be careful.
Right, but it's on the performance you've done.
Well, it's sort of,
She's running
it's very
unopposed,
much
so.
an apolitical job.
Well,
should
but
be.
it's on the job you can't make promises. I'm going to do this. They're going to say, well, it snowed like hell on March 20th, and I couldn't get to work till March 30th. My highway superintendent sucks rocks.
Yeah. No
So
question.
the best thing that happened to him was having a March 20th snow.
Because it went away quick?
No, because
This year, and interesting
Because they-
enough, you have a massive storm, and that was one of the 5 worst storms in the history of March storms this past year. And you have a storm like that, and my men and women, we had 72 people out on the roads. They did a fantastic job.
How many
They worked-
hours before they got a break?
Well, they didn't get a rest break for 38 hours.
Wow.
That
They
first
got
initial
they
fall.
got meal breaks, but it
So
just
you got to make sure that they're lucid, they're with it.
the problem was with that particular storm. We had a point where we had 50-mile-an-hour winds, blizzard conditions. We had trees coming down. We had to reallocate people who were out plowing to take care of trees that were down the road. The best thing was that a state of emergency was declared. People were off the roads.
Right.
But I was out plowing, and I remember getting a call over the radio. I can't see the front of the plow. You know, this would be a
Was
good
that in the
time.
morning? Because that's when it
No,
was
this
really...
was around 10 or 11 at night.
Oh, really?
Or 1 in the morning. I don't know.
Oof.
It was dark.
Right.
And it was snowing. And the wind was blowing. And they said, you know, this would be a good time for a break. And at that point, I go on my computer in the truck, and it says it's snowing 2 inches an hour.
Wow.
All right. Now, if I break the men and women for 4 hours at that point, it takes 4 hours to do the entire town. If I break them for 4, by the time I get them back out, I got 8 inches of snow on the ground. By the time
You
I
also have
get
to know math for this job.
right, by the time you get from point A to point Z, now I've got those extra 3 hours. Now I got 14 inches of snow on the ground. Can't push 14 inches of snow. Physical impossibility. So I say, I'm out here. I know. I was down on Boone Road in the middle of nowhere. I said 5 miles an hour. I could see the front of the plow. I said, drop the speed to 5 miles an hour and keep pushing snow. And let me tell you how awesome the men and women of the highway department were. I broke them at 7 o'clock. The storm started, I believe, Tuesday. We worked all through Wednesday. I broke them at 7 o'clock the next morning. I was going to try and give them some rest. The sun came out. Now, the roads were still a mess. You know, I'm still out checking the roads. I never took a break. So I call my executive assistant, Ann. I said, wake them up. She's like, you got to be kidding me. I said, wake them up. I said, they got to come out now. If we strike now while the sun is out, salt becomes twice as effective. We need to clean the town up
Especially
now.
that March sun, it helps.
Right. We really need to clean the town up. Got them up. They went out, did their thing. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon that day, they called me up and said, look, if we stay an extra 3 or 4 hours, we can knock this out tonight. I said, are you okay? Because you really haven't had any rest. And every one of them was fine.
Wow.
That's the kind of dedication they have. That's the kind of loyalty they have. I couldn't ask for a better crew, really.
Wow.
And the way it works in Yorktown is we control the entire workforce in weather-related events. Parks Department, Water Department, the Sewer Department, everybody plows. We pay for all the plow equipment. When somebody buys a new truck, we put the plow on it, and then we basically control that in weather events. So it's a great, when people say, oh, Dave, you did a great job in that storm. I said, I didn't do that. I plowed the roads I was plowing, but it was the men and women out there that did it.
But being it happened late in the year, people are going to remember the job he did.
Right. If I had screwed up that storm,
He would not have been.
I would not be running on a post, for sure.
But
And even the former highway superintendent was great, was awesome, came to a town board meeting and said, people don't realize that 2 days before the storm you didn't sleep, and you didn't sleep the whole time in the storm.
I saw that meeting, I think.
And you know what? That was coming from a person that had been through it for as many years as Eric did it. That was one of the nicest things anybody said to me, because the residents don't know what goes into it.
Right.
He knows what goes into it.
And it's one of those things, like him, once you retire and done this job, you'll never look at a snowstorm the same way.
Right.
Even if you retired to Florida, you hear there's a snowstorm in New York, you'll be thinking of all this stuff going on.
Now, Darren, off the year where you mentioned this, Darren, we've mentioned a couple times Dave is running unopposed. You had a theory on this. Would
Had a
you
theory?
like the theory of why he's unopposed.
Is he reading your
What was
mind?
it? I remember.
About the Russians.
No.
You said the
Oh,
Russians.
sure. I was joking,
He's
saying,
joking.
well, clearly it was Russians hacking, or
Hacking
no,
the
Russians
election.
are,
I thought
the
you
Russians
said-
are
I
secretly.
thought
The
you
Russians.
said-
don't you
The
have
Russians are behind it.
don't you have a system where you can
That's
see
right.
where your trucks are?
No, actually, we are trying to.
Are you trying to get that?
We are trying to do that this year.
Oh, okay.
I got to say, and I'll give a shout out to the town board. Fiscally great shape. Town of Yorktown, $10 million fund balance. They're taking $1.4 million this year. Additional money putting it into paving. So this year we're going to be able to pave almost 10% of the town.
That was covering Yorktown years. That's always the biggest thing: paving, paving, paving. You hear that more than anything.
There's a simple rule for highway superintendents. Your residents want black roads in the summer
In the winter.
and black roads in the winter.
That's it.
It's everything else is a cakewalk.
Yeah.
Those are the hard parts.
Yeah, but if you do this system with the tracking your trucks, aren't you afraid the Russians are going to hack your system?
That's what I was saying.
Move my trucks around?
They
Could
they
be.
screw that up, and then you'd lose.
That's right.
Well,
Right.
you created, right? Didn't you create a brand new website for the
Yes.
highway
Yeah,
department?
we did a lot with social media.
And because we're friends on Facebook, and I see your updates. And
Updates are great.
I don't go
Really
on
are.
Facebook a lot other than to wish people happy birthday and stuff, because I don't like to get bogged down in the Facebook drama for the most part. But we did use social media a lot to let people know.
Snow and the
School-
road
school
conditions.
closings
Right,
and-
school closed. Well, we have a pretty good idea. We're in communication at somewhere between 3 and 4 with Lakeland and Yorktown Yorktown School District, discussing road conditions. What should we do?
So why?
What do I need to
Are
make the
people-
road safe?
Are people visiting the website though?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of
So
a
why
lot
am
of
I
people.
blocked?
on
That's
it.
great.
Well, because you say perverted stuff, so
You blocked them?
No, he's not.
Oh,
right?
okay. I could see that.
Your social media, you're doing it personally, or do you have like the highway department has a Twitter account? Or
We actually, I hired a gentleman to come to work for me who was very, very computer literate, and he set it all up. He sets up websites also.
Is he Russian?
No, he's not Russian, but my personal Facebook posts are to the 2,000, 3,000 friends, whatever I have, that just to let them know what the road conditions are.
Right.
Andy
I see
has
those
14 friends on Facebook.
Wow,
It's very impressive.
very
In
impressive.
fact, I used to get a refund from call waiting.
But no, it's the social media has been very good. Look,
Because Eric Johansson here in Peekskill, the chief of police, he's been using it pretty well.
yeah,
Twitter,
that's-
he's on
Facebook,
Twitter now and everything.
Twitter.
Yeah, I
giving
haven't done Twitter
updates,
yet.
sharing things, so it's.
But-
Well, you can make it so whatever you post on Facebook also post on whatever Twitter account you have.
But I don't
You
think
might
our,
do that. It's
I don't
easy.
think the highway department in Peekskill uses.
I don't think so.
we
Social
actually, what
media.
I did was I paid for my own website. We were tied in with the town website, but I wanted a specific YorktownHighway.org
Yeah.
website
Well, you're a separate entity.
that people could go on without having to go through 7 pages.
You're
of,
a separate.
get lost on
elected-
those sites.
You're
Yeah.
a separate elected entity.
The first
so-
image on his website, by the way, is Mack truck, and it should be Tonka.
It should be at the
It should be
Tonka.
Tonka. It should be.
I may change that.
Should be that.
Should be you and
You
the
know,
Superman.
I think it should be
Like
this
this,
with
yeah.
with Ondek's face in the back.
No, you
Don't
should.
pick on Georgie.
No, you should
I know
be
he's watching.
standing here with a Superman
Oh,
outfit
yeah.
and.
You know, that's right up my alley, you know. I'm a shameless self
You know, one thing, I know this isn't your department at all, but in Yorktown, in Lakeland High School, in Shrub Oak, there are kids partying in that parking lot. I don't know if the town police are aware of this at all. All hours of the night, they do like little fires. They're making food. They're making all sorts of noise every night.
So,
I'm just saying, well,
In the school parking lot?
yes. Now, I live right next to there, so we.
so you want to be a party pooper?
I
You
don't.
wanna-
I've never
You
called the
want to
police.
forget when you were a kid?
They're
You wanna be a
screeching
hypocrite.
their cars, they're racing and everything, and then you go to Yorktown High School, it's like the Pentagon. You can't do anything there.
Yorktown's
And
tight.
Lakeland, it's a free for all. And I was thinking, back in the '70s, I could see this, but this day and age with lawsuits and all this stuff, and they make so much noise, and no one.
So you're that type of neighbor.
I've not called
that
the police.
forgets when
Andy.
they
Well, let me
were-
ask you something.
not.
What do you think about, slow children playing signs? What do you think about those?
Why would anybody?
Do you have any
ever
opinion?
cut- Why
Do
would
you have any
anybody-
opinion with respect to that?
I don't.
What? I don't know. That's a weird question.
know.
It is,
Like,
right?
are you saying are there kids that are slow?
No,
playing
no,
here?
I just
Or
don't-
slow down.
But
Kids
why-
are playing
Right,
here.
slow down, kids are playing.
Yeah, but why?
Right.
No, it says
That
slow.
is, believe it or not, at a recent highway meeting, we had a discussion with respect to this.
Yeah.
And a lot of municipalities are removing those signs.
Because
And
of child.
No, because do you really want to encourage children to play in the street?
No.
What are the roads for? The roads are for vehicles.
Is that what happens?
Basically, you can't make a silk purse from a sow's ear. The roads are the roads. We
Well,
have
then why
parks,
the-
we have different
yeah, we
things,
have
and I get it.
Cyclists in these roads.
Yep, I
causing
get
all
it.
sorts of
Every
hazards.
one of our bigger problems
Wait
during
for
the winter
pedestrians in the
is all the
crosswalk.
basketball courts that are in the edge of the road, and we're hitting them and knocking them into the people's yards because they're not supposed to be there. I get it, but there's a legality question that's being raised now.
Really, I've never heard that before. I think that's a little.
I just
Well,
don't understand
think about
why
it.
parents wanted to advertise
Children
they had
playing. You're
slow
basically
children.
saying it's okay for kids to play in the road.
I guess I never. So you're saying it. You're saying it'll make the parents think it's okay.
Well, someone just called
not
me.
the kids. 'Cause
Well, no, the
I mean,
kids are awesome, but
I never played the
somebody
street because I
just
saw a sign.
somebody just called me and said, "Can you put up a children playing
Yeah.
sign?" I said, "You can go online. You can buy those little sandwich signs. Children playing here slow.
You can do that.
They can do that, but if I put it up, there is a certain presumption of creating a safe environment."
I never heard that before.
No, I know the stuff I hear is just mind-boggling.
That's mind-boggling.
It
to
is.
me.
Well,
know,
maybe
I mean,
maybe
it's-
it's not slow children; it's slow parents.
I'm trying some new paving, and it's not new. It's been around 10 years, and it's about 40% less than traditional paving. It's a little shorter life expectancy, but it's this year Putnam Valley's using only this pavement
Quickly, we're
pavement
running
paste
out of time.
surface treatment. Everybody's using it, and person called the supervisor's office today, and I guess I'll be speaking to them tomorrow, and said, "I want my road paved with regular traditional paving." What is traditional paving? Is it tack coat? Is it milling and filling? Is it an inch of asphalt pressed to a half inch? Is it an inch and a half pressed to an inch? Is it 2 inches pressed to an inch and a half? What's traditional? There's no such a thing.
Well,
In this economic
we're out of
environment,
time.
we need to do what we got to
No
do.
more questions.
That's it. We're done.
Vote for Dave. Vote for Dave.
Was there an article in the paper about this?
Yes.
Okay, that's how the person knew.
Yeah.
I was gonna say how they even know.
Yeah, because I was touting it.
Whatever.
No, it's some woman. Mary Capocha just told me. That's strange.